Well, I would urge my colleagues to support the amendment. I think it gets at the heart of what we're talking about here is this isn't BLM land. This is a National Wildlife Refuge. And I heard earlier that that the 1002 area is separate from the refuge itself. No, 1002 is inside the refuge. And the question is, on a wildlife refuge, what comes first? Does wildlife come first? You would think so from the name. But if we don't make this change to the legislation, what we say is that oil and gas development comes first on a national wildlife refuge. That is a very, very dangerous precedent to make.
Well, Senator Heinrich, if I may just respond to that, because it is not a chronological, this is first, this is second. It has to be in concert with, and that's why we have this suite of environmental regulations that we are not waiving, we're not going around. We have to work with not only the federal, but the state and the local. We have to work with the tribes, done in consultation. Again, this is not an either-or proposition.
Madam Chair, if I could.
Senator Cantwell.
Speaking in support of Senator Heinrich's amendment, and I know we want to hear from a couple of other colleagues who also want to offer amendments, and I think we should hear from them, is that his amendment is at the crux of this issue. His amendment fixes what is wrong with the underlying bill. So if you truly believe that the Fish and Wildlife Service should play a role, that's what his amendment fixes. I think council has done a very good job, actually, on both sides of the aisle, saying what will happen here and what will happen to the views of the Fish and Wildlife Service. They've been very clear. They will be run over. So I support his amendment because it reestablishes the proper role for the Fish and Wildlife Service. Madam Chair,
Further comments on Senator Heinrich's amendment?
I would just close by saying, you know, when I got on the Fish and Wildlife Service's website this morning, they make the point that most of the calving which occurs, both from the central herd and the porcupine herd, happens to one side or the other of the development, and I don't think that's accidental.